Hey guys, hope you're doing well. This is Jake again, and I am starting class 2 of the SEO class that we went over. Again, the reason I'm actually remaking these videos because I kind of realized we had like a dozen hours of video, um, really covering. It worked really well for a long form class that we did. Um, but for an online video, that many hours of video just it doesn't work for most people. So I'm redoing all of that in a much shorter format. I'm going to be doing 4 30-minute classes in video, and then I'm going to be breaking out a handful of subjects. If you want to go into detail into any of the shorter videos, you can do that as well. And I'll be adding those to each page. So that's what I'm going through right now. And this class, as you can see, and if you went to the live classes, you'll know this is on SEO planning. So class 2, SEO planning. Our subjects today are going to be SEO, copywriting, posts, and research. Specifically, we're going to be planning and researching everything I mentioned before: SEO, copywriting, and posts. And so, yeah, this week, going over last week's material, we did that in class. We're not doing it in the video. Um, okay. You should have access to the back end of your website to your Google Search Console and Google Analytics. And so let's start by going to Google Search Console so we can understand clicks, impressions, click-through rate or CTR, and your position. When you understand these four things, it'll kind of give you a good overview of how your website is performing. And yeah, then we can get into the next thing. So let's do this. Okay, so Google Search Console, you can find that at search.google.com. Now, if you have not set this up before, I made a video on how to set it up in the class 1 page, so you can go check that out. Once you've got this set up, it'll give you a lot of analytics. So it's important to understand the difference between Search Console and analytics. Search Console is pretty much everything the user encounters before they get to your website, and Google Analytics is everything the user encounters after they're on the website. So you can watch people actually go through your website in Google Analytics, but Search Console is all about that search engine results page that they're going to see you on. So let's kind of go over that. So I'm using Shasta EDC's website as my example site in this case. I don't think they'll mind since I'm working with them on this project. So we're just going to kind of go over everything Google Search Console goes over for the website. Now, the first thing they do is they set you off with this menu here, and I've got a little, oh, look, I can make that go transparent a little bit. So we'll start with the overview. Overview is going to show my website performance, my website coverage, and any enhancements I might have. So performance is going to show the number of people who actually click on your website from day to day. And we can go a little deeper into that by clicking on Open Report. And you can see we're looking at the last 3 months web search. And right now there's only 2 things highlighted. Let's highlight everything. It kind of makes this graph a little bit more messy, but the table down below is a lot easier to read. So check this out. We're going over clicks, impressions, CTR, and position. Now I better explain what each one of those means since I know not everyone will know. Clicks are literally the number of people who actually clicked on your website from the search engine results page. Impressions are the number of times you appeared on that search engine results page. And the CTR is impressions divided by clicks. So it's the click through rate, the percentage of time people saw your website and clicked on it. And finally, position, that's going to be your position on the page. So typically people see 10 results per page. So anytime that the position is greater than 10, it means you're not on the first page and probably no one's ever going to see you. Luckily, the Shasta EDC is showing up for quite a few stuff on page 1, so that's great. Let's take a look at, here's how I would use this. So when I have a website, I want to know how to send people to that website. I want to know why they would search for that why they would land on my website, what people find it useful for. So in this case, for the Shasta EDC, I I know that it's not my primary job for people to learn how to get a Shasta County business license on the EDC, but I find it very interesting that one of the top ways people click is because of the Shasta County business. People type in, this is the query, what they type into Google, Shasta County business license. They want to know how to do that. And they end up clicking on the Shasta EDC's website to find it. Now, did I intend for this to happen when I wrote that content on how to do this? Because I remember I actually hired someone to write this content on the website several years ago. I just find it so interesting that that is the most popular piece of content on the website right now. Really is not the EDC's first thing, but it's great because one, we're helping out Shasta County businesses, and two, it's getting people to land on the website, which is kind of the name of the game when we want to increase visibility and traffic on our website. Why not? Why not send people there? We're helping out local businesses, so that's great. I see that 45 people clicked on that. It showed up in the website appeared on the Shasta County business license 281 times, which is kind of a lot. And the click through rate 16. That's a huge click through rate for a non branded search. So, what that means is 16% of people thought that my search result was the best option when they were looking for something about a Shasta County business license. And we can see that we're appearing in between the second and third position on average, which is great. Shasta EDC, this is a branded search. Of course, CTRs through the roof on a branded search. When someone types in Shasta EDC, it's because they're looking for the Shasta EDC, and we have this higher click-through rate. And of course, we're in between position 1 and 2, which we should be. It's our website, it's our name. That makes perfect sense. But what I would do is I would actually go through this list of keywords. A lot of the stuff I expect to see, a lot of the stuff I don't expect to see. Cost of living in Redding, California, for example, doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the Shasta EDC, but it's something that people care about who live here or who are thinking about moving here. Again, makes me want to say, well, that's worth talking about, writing about, and we can see that people decide they want to click on that. Now, 8 people in a quarter doesn't seem like a lot of people. It's not, but when you have a website that's as specialized as the Shasta EDCs, it's not like we're selling shoes here. We're we're selling uh, businesses, business buildings in our area to moving companies, not moving companies, companies who are moving. So we have a very specialized website that is useful to a very tiny percentage of the U.S. population. And while these numbers don't seem large, they are large considering our audience is extremely small. So just important to keep that in mind. Don't I've worked on websites that would have hundreds of thousands of clicks in a month, and I'm not discouraged by these numbers because it really just depends on the service or the product you're providing, the number of searches you're going to get. Weather in Redding, California, with a click-through rate of 8%. Definitely something someone who's moving here wants to learn about, but very odd that we would get an 8%. Typically you would find that sort of thing on a weather website. Demographics, a great thing people want to learn if they're moving themselves or their business here. So as I'm reading through these, I'm kind of learning the kind of people who are attracted to the website. I know how much I want to, or the kind of content I want to write in the future to make sure I can get more people here. And I know what's working, what isn't. I've written a lot of posts, used a lot of keywords I'm just not seeing here. So it makes me think maybe I should abandon certain subjects or ideas that are not returning anything. And I can change this. So let's say I want to know by CTR. Now I've got 100% here because some of these are one-to-one. I've shown up one time in history and one person has clicked on me. So let's get out of this 100% range. Redding, California fires a 50% click-through rate. That's really interesting. My name, second highest. Redding, California map, job training near me, Shasta County Clerk's Office. These are all really high figures and figures we want to pay attention to. Looks like people are using us to get to the Shasta County Clerk's Office, which is very, very interesting. Again, that Shasta County business license. Let's kind of go ahead and look at position. Position 185 for business consulting. No one's ever going to find that. That's, between 10 and 20 pages deep. But look at these positions. Moving to Shasta County, 1 and 2. That's perfect. That's where we want to be for moving to Shasta County. Shasta County relocation 1.7. That's great. A lot of good keywords up in these small numbers, which is just perfect for us. Does it snow and running? Again, the weather, it's not what we want, but people are going to land on the website anyway, and that's fine. Stillwater Business Park, position 2.5. I'm willing to bet we are behind the Stillwater Business Park website, which we can kind of expect to be. So position 2.5 for that, that's not a bad deal. So here's what I'm doing. I'm looking at these keywords. Now I can plan the next piece of content I want to make. I might actually do run on the Shasta County business license thing. That's really interesting that so many people like that. Also, the Stillwater Business Park. I can see that I'm way up there for the the Stillwater Business Park. So is there any related items I can talk to about that would get me high on the list, but that concern me and my customer? That's definitely something I want to look into. So that's kind of how I would look at the performance of the website in Google Search Console. URL inspection, I can take a look at any individual page on my website if I wanted to and kind of single that out. Sitemaps. So sitemaps are things that you want to provide those to Google. And this says couldn't fetch last month. So I would actually want to. Oh, you know what? So there's a new website. The EDC is actually on a new website. They probably changed the URL to the XML sitemap, and so they'll want to add that to the Google Search Console. So here's the deal. Here's what a sitemap is. It's just like a sitemap that you would click on a website that showed you all the pages, but an XML sitemap is one that Google reads, not people. So it wouldn't make sense for a person to read it. But Google wants that XML sitemap. They want to be able to read that, and what they'll do is they'll use it to understand how people flow through the content on your website. Very important that you get this done, and so that's something that the EDC will have to do here. Core Web Vitals, excuse me. So this is just saying try PageSpeed Insights. If you haven't used PageSpeed Insights, you really ought to. It's located at developers.google.com/speed/PageSpeed. Better yet, go to Google and type in PageSpeed Test. It'll allow you to test the speed of every page on your website. The faster, the better. It'll tell you how you measure up to other websites and what you can do to make your website faster. I'm going to cover that in one of the small videos, but not in this long one here. I don't want to fill this long one with too much detail. So you can find that at the bottom of the page once you're done with this. Mobile usability. I'll cover this in a small video too, because it's so important. I want people to get those details. So here's what mobile usability is. If you're not aware, and you have a website, in all likelihood, that website is being found by cell phones far more often than it's being found by laptops or desktop computers. So your website should be designed with mobile usability in mind. Google created a tool just for your mobile usability, so you should be using it. Site links, search box, you can use this if you want to. We'll go ahead and take a quick look at it. Yeah, really nothing here that I want to go over. It's not that big of a deal. We're not running a lot of enhancements on our website, so I don't care about this too much. Manual actions, you'll want to check this every once in a while. Probably if you have a manual action against your website, you're going to be getting emails. There's going to be red flashing lights all over the place. So you'll know if there's going to be a manual action. But basically, what that means is your website broke Google's rules, and Google actually had a human being go in and stop your website from being found. They'll send you an alert, they'll send you an email. They don't want this to happen, but it does. You can check on those here. Any security issue. So, for example, if you've ever had a website, if you've ever gone to a website and it says like, um, this site is dangerous, someone might hack your computer, go back to safety, that sort of thing, that's going to be covered under security issues. And legacy tools and reports, I don't use these. Their Google Search Console's changed a lot in the last couple of years. It's gotten better and easier to use. The legacy items, I would just ignore them. They're legacy for a reason. Google doesn't care about them anymore. So that's Google Search Console. So let's go back to our class notes. And so that's kind of how I use the clicks, impressions, click-through rate, and position to understand the kind of content I want on my page so I can get more people to come to my website. Um, Google Ads keyword research, another just gosh, there's too much important stuff to go over, really. Stuff I don't even have time to go over, but I have to. So let's go to Google Ads now. Ads.google.com. So Google Ads, if you're not running ads, you should be. If you're an organization, you probably have $10,000 a month in free ads you could be using. Now, those are going to be really hard to use because they're free. They've actually created their own market for these things, and you still end up having to pay if you want them to work. But still, running ads is a great plan for your business. So I haven't run any ads for the EDC for a long time, but we'll go ahead and jump in here and take a look at the account. And I'll show you guys how to use. So this is the best part. Even if you don't run ads, there are tools in Google Ads that lets you work on your website, which is really neat. So let's go there. Look at this keyword planner. So the keyword planner is really designed for ads, but you're utilizing Google's AI machine learning technology to look for keywords that are going to work for ads. Those keywords are going to work on your website too. So if I want to discover new keywords, all I have to do is tell it to look at the Shasta EDC website. Oh, I'm just going to go there. So hold on, let me click over. So I'm going to say, okay, Google, look at the Shasta EDC website. Enter the products or services closely related to your business. Business moving. Gosh, economic development. So there's a couple of things and I want it to look at my website. Let's get results. Let's see what Google thinks. So check this out. This is so cool. Office move. Google's telling me average monthly searches, 2,400 people search for this in a given month, and the competition in my area is low. Now they're giving me prices, of course, for like what it would cost me for ads. I don't want to run ads. I could actually use this list of keywords to write content for my website. How cool is that? So economic improvement, 110 searches a month, no competition, low competition. Office relocation, 260 searches a month. Again, low competition. So I can now take these keywords and use them. I'll write a page, put it on my website, and Google is telling me the number of people who are going to type this in each month based on their historic records. So awesome tool that you can use, take advantage of it to build out the content, plan the keywords that you want to have on your website. That's really cool. So great tool. All this information coming straight from the horse's mouth. And when I say the horse's mouth, I mean this is not speculation. This is Google giving you actual historical data of the number of people in your area who type this stuff in. Doesn't get any better than that. Oh, one caveat to this. So I didn't set my location settings. I would change the location settings depending on my service area. So for the EDC, of course, the EDC, their audience is actually not people in Redding. The EDC wants businesses to move from other areas of the United States to Redding. So you'd want to use the United States, but perhaps even more specifically, you would want to use California. And that's because businesses in California, they're more accustomed to understanding state tax structures and all these things. And I'm kind of getting deep into the weeds as far as the Shasta EDC's business dealings. And every business is going to be a little bit different. So you're going to want to use that to manipulate this. So the United States, probably English language searchers, they're using this search engine, and we're looking at the last 12 months. So adjust these as needed. Don't forget to do that. So again, awesome tool for getting new good keywords for your website. Google Analytics. Boy, covering a lot of ground here. Let's check out Google Analytics. Okay. I'm going to sign in. I think I still have access to the EDC's analytics. We'll see. Let's search for the Shasta. Okay. Looks like I do. We'll see. Like I said, this website has been moved recently, so we may not have good or accurate data up to the minute. So maybe I'll just go backward in time a year and look at last year's data and pretend it's this year's. So what I did is I went to acquisition, which is how people get to your website. I went to traffic and then channels. Channels, of course, people get to your website in all kinds of different ways. Yeah, so watch this. Let's go to 2019, 2019. So we just went back in time a couple of years. We'll see if we have some. Oh, still no data. 1 second. And maybe the data got wiped out when they moved the website. There we go. This is just a really old account. So let's change this to 2017, apply. So now what I did is I'm looking at a random week in 2017. In fact, I could even change this, but it kind of lets me know the number of visitors I got each day. It lets me know, oh yeah, this is such a small data set. Let me change this. We'll see if we can get some more data in here that we can look at. Not a lot here. Let's go to. So, oh, guys, I clicked on Shasta Venture Hub, if you can believe that, which is not the website I thought I was clicking on. Well, maybe I just moved it completely out of my account. Okay. Well, I'm not going to have the best data to show you, but if you remember what it looked like, it kind of showed you each day the number of visitors you got. You could come down here and you could see where that traffic was coming from. Organic meant they were finding you in Google. Direct meant they were finding you from a link. You'll see emails in here. You'll see Facebook. That means people found your Facebook page and linked over from there. Basically, what that's telling you is the number of people and the percent of people finding you from your different traffic sources. And this is such a powerful tool. I could go for hours just on this tool alone. Um, you can find out who your audience is by their demographics, by their geographic location, by the technology they're using. I mean, you can dial in on whether or not they're using an Apple or a Microsoft computer to find your website. Most people don't want to dig that deep in the weeds, but hey, you can if you want to. Behavior flow, what behavior flow shows is how they act on your website. So which page do they land on? And let's say they land on the home page. Do they go straight to contact us, or do they go to your service page and then try and contact you? It lets you watch that flow of how they go through. Some of these other things, you can connect your Google Ads account to this and your Search Console account and get all that information in one location. What else? Yeah, just a lot of good information on the way people are interacting with your website. I definitely recommend you set up your Google Analytics account and use it. Just explore. It's really tough to get, but the first thing I showed you was the easiest thing and the best thing to use. Acquisition, all traffic, channels shows you how people are landing on your site and the number of people landing on your site. Use that as often as you feel like you need to. It's a great tool. So a couple other things as you're looking at how people react on your website, what keywords to use on your website. Make sure when you're on your website you're using the proper voice as you're in your writing. If you're selling a product, you would talk about it in one way. If you're doing a service, you talk about it in another. The Shasta EDC, for example, that's a professional organization who's serving businesses. That's going to be a way different voice than a local church. It's going to be a way different voice than um, the Redding Visit Redding website. Way different voice from someone who's providing a product. So just keep that in mind and consider that as you're planning which keywords you want to be using and how to work those in. Excuse me. So using Google Ads for your keyword research, I kind of just went over that in the video. I'll touch on it one more time. Create your campaign. Pause it so you don't spend any money. It's really easy to accidentally spend money in Google Ads. Don't do that. Tools and settings, that's the wrench icon. Planning, keyword planner. Use that. Totally use that to get those keywords to know what to use on your website. Search console. Get the account set up. Check your performance. Oh yeah, I didn't mention when I was showing you, make sure your dates are set up for the right amount of time. Um, I say to look at 3 months. Some people like to look at 1 month. Do what works best for you. Pay attention to the number of times keywords get searched and use your queries using Google Analytics. Confirm you have your account set up. Um, yep, use performance. Acquisition all traffic channels. Again, it's important to use that. So just really great. One more thing. We've got 30 seconds before I close out this video. Oh, Google Trends. This is going to be another video, guys. Check out the video on Google Trends at the bottom of this page when you leave this video. This is awesome. And I'm going to make a new video about that. I'm out of time on this video, but I'll do it on the next one. And again, here's our SEO keywords that we're going after for the class, but you can use this for anything. So make sure you do that. Thanks, guys. Again, check out the Google Trends video. I ran out of time in this video. Check it out at the bottom of the page. Thanks.